welcome to another theatre vlog. Every time I say it, I feel like it's been a really long time since I've said it. I'm with Sean, but just for now.
I'm literally about to walk. Actually, you know what? Should I walk right now?
Oh, I think I better leave right now.
Bye, Rukaya.
It's lovely to see you.
I'll see you next week.
Yeah,
I'll text you
enjoy
later.
Kinky Boots. Bye. Oh, he's actually left. I didn't think he was actually going to leave. Yeah, I'm going to the theatre tonight. I'm going to see Evita at the Phoenix Theatre. I'm just quickly popping into a sweet shop to get a friend for my present, a present for my friend. As Sean just said, he's going off to Kinky Boots because he wanted to see a feel-good show and decided on that one. I mean, good choice. For Evita today, I booked my tickets on TodayTix and I filmed my process of doing that. Sorry, it's loud. So I'll put that on screen. TodayTix have some really good prices for Evita at the moment. They were a bit more expensive and now they've dropped even more. So excellent value, and I've actually been upgraded. I bought tickets in the Grand Circle. I've been upgraded to row C in the stalls. Amazing, I'm so thrilled. So definitely check out your tickets on TodayTix, and obviously if you've not used the app before, you can get £10 off with my code, which will be on screen and in the description. And now that that's done with, I'm going to buy this present and I'm going to head up to the theatre.
Good news because you've been upgraded.
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much. Thanks. Now, Evita is quite a short act one. I mean, it's a short show in general. I think it's only 2 hours including the interval, and it starts at 8:45, so a little bit later than most Western shows, and most of them start at 7:30, which is quite nice really. It's always good to have a slightly later option as well. And the last time I saw Evita was in 2014 on the UK tour. I saw it in Birmingham. I didn't love the show, mainly because of Marty Pello, because I felt like his diction was just not great. I couldn't really understand a lot of what he was saying, and I can't remember who was playing the role. Is it Che the role? I'll put the name here if I remember to, but he's really good so far. I can actually understand what he's saying, which is nice. And we've got Emma Hatton as Ava Peron. One thing I don't like about the Phoenix, I don't think they have one for the girls as well. They don't have a cast board, and I can't remember if they had one for Bend It Like Beckham and once, but it really annoys me. It's such, I mean, I don't know how much it costs to make a cast board, but it seems like such a simple thing, and to let people know who is actually on, because before the show started, I suddenly remembered. I was like, oh, I don't actually know if Emma is definitely on. I mean, obviously it wouldn't have been a problem. You know, I don't mind seeing understudies, but obviously I was quite looking forward to seeing Emma on as Ava Peron, and she is. So it's all good, and I'm really enjoying her in this show. If you watched my top 10 Elphabas video, you'll know that I didn't really love her as Elphaba, but I am really enjoying her portrayal of Eva Peron. Also, I didn't see Louise Dearman in Evita, but the tone of her voice and everything, I'm really, like, if you close your eyes, she kind of sounds like Louise at some point, which is quite fascinating. And then it got me thinking about the Elphabas, or the people that played both Elphaba and Ava Peron. Like, last time I saw this show, it was Michelle Pentecost, who understudied Elphaba in Wicked in London, and then obviously Emma was Elphaba, Louise was Elphaba. I don't know who else has played Ava Peron, but isn't it funny how there's like a link between the type of person who plays all these certain roles? Like, obviously there's a few Elphabas that have played like Meat in We'll Rock You, and I don't know, it was just something I thought about during the show. Anyway, yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and I don't know if I mentioned beforehand, but I mean, obviously I mentioned that I booked my ticket on TodayTix, but I don't think I mentioned the fact that I got an amazing upgrade. Ironically, I was quite looking forward to seeing the show from the Grand Circle, because I've never sat in the Grand Circle of the Phoenix. I've sat in the stalls and the dress, never the Grand, but I'm not going to complain about an upgrade to the third row. That would be stupid to complain about that, wouldn't it? So yeah, I am really enjoying the show so far. Definitely a lot more than I last saw it. I think I was row C when I saw it at the Birmingham Hippodrome as well. Maybe I can find my ticket. I think I took a photo of that ticket the other day thinking I could put it onto seat plan and totally forgot. Oh no, they don't have the Birmingham Hippodrome. Anyway, I'm just rambling now. But yes, I'm enjoying the show so far and I'm going to go back in. Also, weird note, they obviously did a bag check, which is great. And I had a glass jar, like I bought a jar of sweets for my friend. And they didn't want me to take the glass jar in, even though I wasn't going to open my bag or anything. I was like, I'm not going to eat these sweets during the show. They're just going to stay in my bag. And they're like, oh, do you mind if we put it in the cloakroom? And I was like, well, I may as well put my whole backpack in the cloakroom, so thanks, I guess. I don't know, that was weird. Anyway, I'm going to go into the show now. Hello everyone and welcome back to the talkie section of the vlog. As you saw, I went to see Evita at the Phoenix Theatre, and it's not been too long since I was last at the Phoenix Theatre. I say that, it does feel like it's been a while, but I went to see the girls there in March? I think it was March. So it was really nice to be back there. As I mentioned in the video, I bought my ticket on TodayTix and I went for, I think it was the cheapest option. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. That was the second row of the Grand Circle, and I actually ended up getting upgraded to the third row of the stalls, which is always lovely. Though ironically, I was really looking forward to seeing what the view was like at the Phoenix from the Grand Circle, but I'm not going to complain about being upgraded to the stalls. I say I was looking forward to finding out what the view was like from up there because I've sat in the stalls, I've sat in the dress circle. I thought it'd be fun to tick off the Grand Circle. But yeah, as I say, that is one hell of an upgrade, and actually it worked out kind of in my favour. Obviously it worked out in my favour, but for reasons I will talk about a bit later on. To give you some context, I last saw Evita in 2014. I saw it on the previous UK tour that they had, where it then transferred to the Dominion Theatre as well, so it's done a very similar thing this time round of being on a UK tour and transferring into the Phoenix Theatre. I think it's kind of a situation of if there is a West End theatre free, they will just jump into it. It's quite funny, I'm trying to think of what other tours have recently also like toured again and then come into the West End as well. My mind has gone totally blank on that, but if you can think of any, do let me know in the comments because I just love like thinking about stuff like that. The last time I saw Evita was the first time I saw Evita, and I wasn't a huge fan of it. I think this is mostly due to Marty Pello. No offense to Marty Pello, but he plays the character of Che, and I can't remember his surname, but Che, the narrator. Therefore, because I found that I couldn't understand a lot of what he was saying, I couldn't then understand the show as such. Whereas this time, the narrator was played by Gianmarco Chiaretti. I've probably butchered that name and I am so sorry, but I was able to understand him a lot more and therefore enjoyed the story a lot more as well. Funnily enough, I think I was in row C when I saw Evita the last time as well, so similar distance, but obviously the Phoenix Theatre I'm pretty sure is not as wide as the Birmingham Hippodrome, and I feel like that suited the show a lot more. From what I can remember, I think this was the exact same production as that tour that I saw, obviously different cast. Last time I saw it, it was Michelle Pentecost as Eva Peron. This time it was Emma Hatton. And if you recently watched my top 10 Elphabas video, you'll know that Emma Hatton didn't place too high on my list there. However, I really enjoyed seeing her performance as Eva Peron. It was like watching a whole different person. It was quite amazing. And at times, eerily, I thought she sounded very similar to Louise Dearman in her like tone and singing voice. I mean, Evita is obviously mostly sung through. If anyone else has kind of thought about that, obviously I didn't see Louise as Eva Peron. I don't think I've even heard kind of clips of her singing songs from Evita, but I don't know, there was something about her voice. And I think, as I mentioned in the interval clip, it's funny that like people that have played Elphaba might have also played Eva, and also, what was the other character that I said? Some of them have also played like Meat in We Will Rock You. There's a funny like crossover of people and roles there, which is just quite interesting and something I thought about while watching the show. As I think I've already said, I definitely enjoyed the show this time round a lot more. Probably because of understanding the narration. And what I find fascinating about seeing shows like this is that I'm like itching to find out more afterwards when it's kind of like based off of a true story, event or person. It's quite fascinating for me to then come out of the show and think, right, I want to know more. Like, one thing that really kind of not bugged me but intrigued me was the character of Che, because it was towards the end of the show that I was thinking, who is Che in relation to the story as such? Because obviously he's the narrator for the most part, but is he one of those people that is actually present in the show? Is he an actual character, or is he one of those kind of like omnipresent characters? Is that the right word? I've just had to do a quick Google because I'm sure I said the wrong word. Omniscient? I mean, I'm just getting flashbacks to like RE in school, but omniscient, where it says the third person omniscient narrator, which I think, in my opinion, describes what Che as a character is, because he seems like one of those people that obviously visually is the same throughout the show. He's not like someone that's changing costume or what have you, but he is just kind of always there. And I find that really funny that you can go see a show and only think about stuff like this like towards the end of the show or even afterwards. Like, I've just looked it up now and forums are saying various things, and it's just kind of an interesting layer of the show. As I mentioned, obviously being the third row of the stalls, it's an amazing upgrade. Thank you to Datix originally for the amazing price tickets. Gotta love you for that. But to be able to see the facial expressions, especially from Emma as Eva, that was amazing, because I felt like, especially in like younger Eva, though I say that, it's not like she ever got to be old, but the sass in her facial expressions and just the she showed so much of the character through her face. And I think that sounds weird, but the kind of the subtleties of Eva, especially in like the scenes where she's with the public, I think that really it really showed her personality and how she's feeling in those moments. Especially, I can't remember exactly which scene it is, but it's I think it's like a gala or a dinner or something where Ava is being actually very nice to people and she's greeting everyone, being very kind, and the ladies are shunning her, and just everything was so, all those little moments of, I guess, being rejected by those around her because of her past was showing on her face so much. I think that she did that really well. The power in her voice was amazing. As I say, I wasn't a huge fan of her Elphaba, and I'm pretty sure that's the only thing I've fully seen her in, though for some reason I feel like I've seen her at a West End Live performance years ago, so I'm gonna say that Elphaba is the only thing I've seen her as. I was so impressed this time round, and it's not like I was going into the show thinking like, oh, is Emma Hatton going to impress me, but it was just really nice because I didn't love how she portrayed another role to see her in this and really enjoy how she did it. It's always funny to revisit a show like this. As I've mentioned, Evita, it's not like it's one of my absolute favourite shows, but for my friend Jake, who lives out in New York, I knew that it was one of his favourite shows because when it was announced to be coming into the West End, he messaged me and he was like, oh my god, one of my faves, you must go see this. And I was like, well, I've already seen it, but I knew I wanted to give it a second chance to see it again, and I'm really glad I did, because even though it's still not one of my absolute top favourites, it's definitely gone up the list a little bit more. And I asked Jake, I think either at the interval or after the show, I was like, oh, just out of curiosity, like what makes this one of your favourite shows? Just 'cause I'm always interested to know that about my friends, because we don't all have the same favourite shows, which I love, because otherwise that would be a bit boring. He was obviously saying about Ava Peron's arc and what happened to her, obviously the music, which I agree, the music for this show is quite incredible. I mean, I've still got bits of it stuck in my head. How many times do you randomly come out with like Don't Cry For Me Argentina and Rainbow High? That's been stuck in my head quite a lot, which Emma sings fantastically. Yeah, I am so glad to have gone and seen it again. I would love to know if you've been to see Evita either on the recent tour they did and now that they're in London, or even maybe the tour and West End run previous to this, just because, you know, I would love to know your opinions, and especially because it's a different cast from the last time, obviously. Don't forget, if you want to book tickets, you should definitely check out TodayTix, and if you've not used the app before, you can use my referral code to get £10 off if it's your first order. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you'd like to see more of me in the future. I do a lot of theatre content, so if you enjoy theatre, hopefully you'll enjoy my channel. I hope you're doing really well, and I will see you very soon. Bye!